What's going on, y'all? This is Czar. So somebody wanted me to do a video on reverb for hip hop vocals, and I'm going to do that video next week. I thought it'd make more sense to do an overview of the reverb in Studio One first, before I get into that. So this is a room reverb. It's a stock reverb in Studio One, and I've been using it ever since. Well, if you've been following my channel, you know I've been using Studio One all this year, and I've been using this a lot more than my other reverb plugins because it's so easy to use and so easy to dial in. A lot of reverb plugins can be intimidating with all the controls on it if you don't really know how to use reverb. But like I said, this one's really easy to use, so let's walk you through it. So on the left side here in the room, this manipulates the room size here. I really like this because the whole goal of reverb is to put something in a space and create a space for it, and this lets you visualize and see that space that you're putting your source in. So we can adjust the size of the room, the width of the room, and the height of the room, which is pretty funny because this height you can make the room pretty flat. Below here under geometry, your distance, I'm just gonna zoom in here. The green here is the listener, and the blue and red is the left and right, as you can see here. The distance adjusts the distance of the listener. The ASY moves it from left to right. And your plane moves the listener up and down. So you got a lot of control over the reverb here. On the right side, the character, which is probably my favorite part of it, you've got dampness, which fully clockwise will make the room sound more dead. The less damp it is, the more reverb you'll hear. Population, this puts more people in the virtual room. So if you have a room, and if you had just one person talking in an empty room, the sound's going to bounce around a lot. The more people you put in that room, the sound won't bounce around as much because the sound is actually hitting those people. Reflectivity, more you crank this, the more reflective the room will get. And at the top here, you've got your pre-delay. Your length is the reverb tail. For those who don't know, the reverb tail is the decay that you hear when you play something with reverb and you hit stop. What you hear continuing on is the reverb tail. The mix here goes between the counterclockwise is your early reflections, and to the right is more reverb, so you can blend between those two. And the dry and wet, of course, is a mix between the reverb and the dry signal. Usually when you're using reverb on an aux track, you want this at 100%. The last two here, the perform and quality. Perform uses less computer resources, and quality uses more. So I think quality is a high quality button, very similar to the quality button in the EQ in Studio One. But yeah, having it on perform will use less CPU power for you. So by default, it's on quality here. And then this drop down here, you can choose a room size: small room, medium hall, large hall. So basically smallest to largest. So let's get into some examples and show what the room reverb sounds like. So I got a demo session from Jashayla here, and first I'm gonna play you just the dry vocal, and then we'll add the reverb in.
Push the clutch down, get me out of fourth gear, boy. Take me far away from home. You got my heart beating fast. On the highway.
Alright, and this is with the room reverb added to it.
Push the clutch down, get me out of fourth gear, boy. Take me far away from home. You got my heart beating fast. The highway.
Now just let you hear it with the track.
Push the clutch down, get me out of fourth gear, boy. Take me far away from home. You got my heart beating fast. The highway, switching lanes.
Okay, so let's get into what some of the features sound like here. The pre-delay. The more you crank the pre-delay, you'll get more of a tone like this on the reverb.
Push the clutch down. Get me out of fourth gear, boy. Take me far away from home. You got.
So you can see it adds more of a delay there. The reverb tail, like I said, when you stop it, what you hear continuing on is the reverb tail. So the more you push this up,
Push the clutch down.
you hear that long reverb tail. Now, it all depends on what you want the sound to have. What kind of reverb? Do you want a big reverb, a small reverb? The reverb tail will really help you tell that, because when you're playing it back and you're playing your mix back, you want to pay attention to the tail, because if the reverb tail is too long, it can muddy up some of the other tracks, and you can have if the reverb tail is too long, it'll continue on when the next phrase comes in, and all that can contribute to your vocal sound when you're adding reverb. Let's look at some of the character here. So the dampness, I'm gonna crank this all the way up and let you hear how dead it sounds with the dampness on, and bring this tail back down. Okay, so listen how more dead it sounds with this dampness up, and then I'm going to slowly pull the dampness back, and you can hear how the reverb gets bigger.
Highway, babe, switching lanes, about 100 on the dash. Highway, babe, switching lanes, about 100 on the dash. Speeding with the top down, top down.
So you can hear with that dampness all the way counterclockwise, the reverb gets a lot bigger. Now, the population, let you hear about, like I said, putting more people in this room.
Highway, babe, switching lanes, about 100 on the dash. Highway, babe, switching lanes, about 100 on the dash.
You can see that makes it, also again makes the reverb sounds bigger, more reflective. The reflectivity here, let's bring that all the way down to nothing and play that. I'm just gonna play a different part of the song here. And on the next pass, I'll turn the reflectivity up, which will make the room more reflective.
Top down. Oh boy, this feels just like a daydream. Feels just like a daydream. Daydream. Top down. Oh boy, this feels just like a daydream. Feels just like a daydream. Daydream.
And let's look at the size of the room here. Of course, we can make it really big, and also your room sizes here contribute to that as well. Let's move it up to a medium hall here. Let's play the room as big as it can get, and then I'll play it back with the smaller size of the room.
Top down. Oh boy, this feels just like a daydream. Feels just like a daydream. Daydream. Oh, it's a love affair while we drive, and we're cautious while we roll and drive.
You can hear that's just putting on that medium hall. You can hear how much longer that reverb tail got there. And now let's give it the smallest room here and hear the difference.
Top down. Oh boy, this feels just like a daydream. Feels just like a daydream. Daydream. Oh, it's a love affair while we drive, and we're cautious while we roll and drive.
Yes, that sounds a lot better. Like I said, what I really love about this reverb is the size, the width, the height. You can create the exact room that you want for this source, and the character just gives you more options on top of that to dial in your reverb. But like I said, reverb plugins can be, very intimidating with all its controls. Hopefully this here will give you more confidence in using the room reverb now, if you didn't know what this extra stuff is on the reverb. Most all reverbs have the pre-delay in the tail. So that's what most people are familiar with. But the character, the room size, the geometry, it's just some nice extras that Presonus threw in here, and it's really nice. But there you go. That's the room reverb. I say next week I'll do the video on reverb on hip hop vocals. And if you want to see me do any more videos, just drop a comment in the video. Let me know. All right, catch y'all next time.